Okay. You touched on unfunded mandates before, and so we'll continue with that question. That the state mandates that the county provides services, including health and human services and the courts, and then fails to fully fund these. As a county representative, what would you do to help fund these unfunded mandates? And how would you lobby or work to bring that about? I think you are the first one, Mr. Ross.
Thank you. Like she touched on, the county has been under more and more pressure to fund, to make use of its funds, and it's been mandated to fund the health and human services and the court system. So these funds have been pulled away from other areas. In order to fully fund the entire system, I think we, as a county board, need to be lobbying Madison more directly, making sure that we are getting our share of the funds. Excuse me. Milwaukee is the economic engine that runs Wisconsin. If Madison and the legislators and the senators there can't recognize that, if we have a healthy and successful Milwaukee, we'll have a healthy and successful Wisconsin, then we'll be here to remind them of that. And I'll be here to remind them of that. So we need to make sure that that is happening. And that's something that's been going on since 1990, so it's a constant battle. But we do need to make sure that the funds are coming in to fund Milwaukee. We've seen the results of when it's not, with the decline of the parks. And I'll make sure that our parks are fully funded. With the declines and the problems that we've seen, unfortunately popping up in the Journal-Sentinel when we have problems with the mental health complex, or the recent problems that we've seen with that. So we have to make sure that Madison is aware of these problems, so that we don't continue those in the future.
Sebastian, I thought it was the next one.
The state has put this pressure also on the city of Milwaukee, not only the county, and it's trying times when mandates are prepared and then they're underfunded or not funded at all. Part of the solution to that is successful lobbying at the state level to make sure we can drive some of those state dollars back to Milwaukee County. The county currently employs 2 lobbyists at over $90,000 a year. I've done some lobbying with Milwaukee Police Association when I was the vice president. My entire time at the Capitol, working with our state elected officials, I saw very few to no supervisors up there directly lobbying the issues that are near and dear to their hearts and their constituents. I think it's important that all branches of government work together and make sure that they have an actual physical presence on the particular issues and driving forward those relationships. Those relationships I have fostered over the years include working with Christine Sinicki, who's endorsed my candidacy, who's one of the representatives for the Bayview area, Senator Jeff Blaley, who is the senator for this area, and a variety of other elected officials through Madison. And that's just on both sides of the aisles. Again, all branches certainly need to work together. I think successful lobbying, we can move forward and bring those dollars back to Milwaukee County.
Yes, you are next.
Okay. I'm just going to do the math here about the population of the state, according to the last census, which is 8 years old now, is approximately 5.5 million people in the whole state. Milwaukee County itself is about 900 plus, a little less than 1 million. So you do the math and you think, well, we have about 1/6 of the population of the state of Wisconsin in one county. That means 71 other counties have the other 5/6. So we were very heavily populated. As far as the court's costs, and these things are, once again, the constitutional powers issues we have to fund, we have no choice. But the formula that doesn't work in our favor very well. We are the crime capital of the state of Wisconsin, and I don't like saying that, it's just a fact. So we have an overburden on ourselves to do things like fund the courts. Give you an example, if you elect a judge for the circuit court, who's actually a state employee, but we don't have enough judges to make the courts work as efficiently as I think they should. And when you think of how many representatives we have, because we have representatives based on population, if we can act as a voice and coordinate all these voices together, I think we can put a little pressure on the Attorney General and the Governor, who's our former Attorney General, to get the job done here in Milwaukee. But I gotta say, it's not really being done now, but I will work very hard to get that done if you'll elect me. Thank you.
direct lobbying by the county supervisors has been mentioned at least twice by my colleagues at the table here. I've been mentioned it a third time. I have good relationships with several of our state representatives, including John Richards and Representative Chris Siddiqui. By working with our representatives in Madison, I believe we can get a larger share, which we would deserve for the county. Another thing that I've not heard mentioned tonight, or one thing I've not heard mentioned tonight, is municipal enterprise. Back in the day, I believe under Mayor Holmes' rule, we had a lot of very good public projects going on. A lot of that was in direct response to the Great Depression, and I certainly hope we never have to deal with something like that again. What I would like to see is for Milwaukee to return to its roots in a way. Start municipal industry. If we can collect fried grease from restaurants, hospitals, food production facilities, that grease can be turned into biodiesel fuel. It can be turned into a good fuel. It works great in our buses, works great in the county diesel vehicle fleet, and it would cost less than half of what the commercial petroleum diesel would cost now. By doing that, we'd have a lot more money to devote to our other needs, and that would be a good thing for everybody.